Picture this scenario because I guarantee it's happened to you or someone you know. It's January 2nd. You're feeling motivated after a night of New Year's resolutions and too much champagne. You walk into your local gym, credit card in hand, ready to transform your life. The salesperson smiles warmly and offers you an incredible deal. $10 a month for unlimited access to state-of-the-art equipment. You sign up immediately because honestly, 10 bucks is less than you spend on coffee in a single week. You walk out feeling accomplished, already imagining your future six-pack abs. Fast forward 8 months. You've been to the gym exactly 4 times, maybe 5 if you count that day you just used the bathroom. But every month, like clockwork, that $10 charge hits your account. You notice it occasionally, feel a twinge of guilt, and tell yourself you'll start going next week. Next week turns into next month. Next month turns into next year. You're now paying $120 annually for the privilege of feeling bad about yourself. Here's what's really happening. You haven't stumbled into a personal failure. You haven't discovered some character flaw that makes you uniquely lazy or unmotivated. You've walked headfirst into one of the most brilliant business traps in modern commerce. You are not the customer. You are the product. And the gym industry has spent decades perfecting the art of profiting from your absence. My name is Bobby, and I spend way too much time thinking about the invisible systems that separate us from our money while making us feel grateful for the privilege. If you're someone who has ever wondered why gym memberships are so cheap when everything else keeps getting more expensive, or if you've ever felt like you're throwing money away on subscriptions you never use, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Because today we're going deep into the mathematics of failure, the psychology of optimism, and the business model that makes billions by betting against your willpower. The numbers are absolutely staggering and they reveal the true scope of this trap. According to industry research, 67% of gym memberships go completely unused. That's not mostly unused or occasionally unused, that's never used. 18% of all gym memberships in America are completely inactive. These aren't people who go twice a month instead of daily. These are people who literally never show up after signing up. Americans waste an estimated $1.3 billion annually on unused gym memberships. That's billion with a B. To put that in perspective, that's more money than the entire GDP of some countries. We're talking about one of the largest consumer expenditures on unused services in any industry. But here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't an accident. This isn't some unfortunate side effect of the fitness business. This is the foundation of how gyms make money. They don't profit from your attendance, they profit from your absence. Every person who signs up and never shows up is subsidizing the experience for the people who do show up. Every monthly payment from someone who hasn't been to the gym in 6 months is pure profit that requires zero operational cost. Let's break down the math because the numbers expose the entire system. Planet Fitness, the king of this business model, has perfected what industry analysts call the high-volume, low-cost approach. They offer $10 monthly memberships and have maintained that price for 30 years. Think about that for a second. In an economy where everything from housing to groceries has doubled or tripled in cost, Planet Fitness has kept their price exactly the same for 3 decades. How is that mathematically possible? The answer lies in what happens after you sign up. The average Planet Fitness member visits 5 or 6 times per month, but here's the kicker. Around 60% of their members don't visit at all in any given 30-day period. They have 19.6 million members across 2,500 locations. If even half of those members showed up regularly, their gyms would be so overcrowded they'd be unusable. The business model depends on you not showing up. This creates what economists call phantom members. These are people whose membership fees flow directly to the bottom line without requiring any operational resources. No equipment wear and tear, no additional staffing costs, no increased utility bills, no crowded locker rooms. They pay for a service they never consume, creating the profit margins that allow gyms to offer such low prices in the first place. The retention statistics reveal how deliberately this system is designed. The average annual gym member retention rate is around 60%, meaning 40% of members cancel their memberships each year. 50% of new gym members quit within the first 6 months. On the surface, this looks like a business disaster. High churn rates typically destroy profitability in most industries. But in the gym business, this churn is actually a feature, not a bug. Here's why. It costs gyms $60 to $120 to acquire a new member depending on their marketing spend. But that new member will pay monthly fees for an average of 2 years before canceling. Even if they never show up, they're generating $240 in lifetime value from a $10 monthly membership. The acquisition cost gets covered in the first 2 months, and everything after that is profit. But the real genius of this model lies in what behavioral economists call optimism bias. People consistently overestimate their future gym attendance when signing up. You're not making a rational calculation based on your past behavior. You're making an emotional decision based on your aspirational future self, the person who signs up for a gym. Membership isn't the same person who has to actually show up at 6 in the morning 3 months later. The gym industry has weaponized this psychological vulnerability. They market to your hopes and dreams, not your realistic habits. Every commercial shows transformed bodies and energetic people having the time of their lives. They're selling you a vision of who you could become, knowing statistically that you'll pay for that vision long after you've given up on achieving it. The psychology gets even darker when you examine how gyms deliberately design their facilities and policies to discourage heavy usage. Planet Fitness has perfected this art through what they call the judgment-free zone marketing, but the real purpose is much more calculated. They've eliminated basketball courts, swimming pools, and group fitness classes not because they care about intimidation, but because these amenities attract daily users who actually consume resources. Instead, they fill their facilities with endless rows of cardio machines and light weights, precisely the equipment that casual users gravitate toward for short, infrequent workouts. They've even installed what they call a lunk alarm that sounds whenever someone drops weights or grunts too loudly. This isn't about creating a welcoming environment. This is about systematically weeding out serious fitness enthusiasts who might actually use their membership value. Think about the target demographic they're pursuing. They openly advertise that they want people who are intimidated by traditional gyms, people who are unsure about fitness, people who might join on impulse but lack the established habit of regular exercise. They've identified the exact psychological profile of someone likely to pay without attending, and they've built their entire brand around attracting those individuals. The facility design supports this strategy in every detail. Planet Fitness locations are typically 20,000 square feet, about half the size of full-service gyms, but they pack in more cardio equipment and fewer free weights than competitors. This creates an environment where serious lifters feel uncomfortable, while casual exercisers feel at home for their occasional visits. It's demographic engineering disguised as inclusivity. The contract structure reveals another layer of the trap. Most gyms make cancellation deliberately difficult, requiring in-person visits, written notices, or phone calls during specific business hours. Some demand 30-day advance notice, meaning you pay for an extra month even after deciding to quit. Others automatically renew annual contracts unless you cancel within narrow windows. These aren't oversights in customer service. These are revenue protection mechanisms designed to extract maximum payments from people who've already mentally checked out. But the real sophistication lies in how they handle the cancellation process itself. When you finally decide to cancel, many gyms will offer discounted rates or temporary freezes to keep you on the books. They know that people who've been paying without attending are likely to accept almost any deal that feels like progress. A 3-month freeze feels like a victory, even though you're still locked into the same cycle when it ends. The industry has also mastered what psychologists call the sunk cost fallacy. Once you've been paying for several months without attending, canceling feels like admitting failure. You've already invested money, so your brain tricks you into thinking that keeping the membership gives you a chance to eventually get value from those past payments. The longer you've been paying without going, the harder it becomes to pull the trigger on cancellation. Annual membership deals exploit this psychology even more aggressively. They'll offer you 12 months for the price of 10, paid up front. This seems like a bargain, but it eliminates your monthly decision point about whether to continue. Instead of 12 opportunities to cancel, you get one moment of buyer's remorse buried under the excitement of saving money. By the time you realize you're not using the membership, you've already paid for the entire year. The social proof element makes this trap even more powerful. When you walk through a Planet Fitness during peak hours, you see people working out, equipment being used, classes happening. This creates the illusion that you're joining a thriving fitness community. What you don't see are the thousands of members who paid for that same experience but never show up. The visible activity masks the massive population of phantom members subsidizing the operation. The membership trap extends beyond just gyms into what researchers call the subscription economy. The same psychological mechanisms that keep people paying for unused gym memberships power billions in unused software subscriptions, streaming services, meal kits, and app subscriptions. The fitness industry pioneered these tactics, but they've spread across every sector of consumer spending. Companies now deliberately make their services just useful enough to prevent immediate cancellation while remaining forgettable enough to avoid regular usage. They price subscriptions low enough to slip below your attention threshold but high enough to generate serious revenue when multiplied across millions of inattentive customers. Your unused gym membership isn't just about fitness, it's training you to accept this model across your entire financial life. The data reveals that this isn't random consumer behavior. This is systematic wealth extraction from people who consistently overestimate their future selves. Every month you pay for a gym membership you don't use, you're participating in an economic transfer from optimistic consumers to profit maximizing corporations. You're not paying for fitness. You're paying for the privilege of feeling like someone who might someday prioritize fitness. So, what do you do with this information? How do you escape a trap that's designed to exploit the gap between your intentions and your actions? The answer isn't to avoid gyms entirely or to beat yourself up for falling into this psychological web. The answer is to understand that you're not broken for wanting to improve yourself and you're not weak for struggling with follow through. You're human, and humans are predictable in ways that billion-dollar industries have learned to exploit. If you want to get fit, make fitness convenient and unavoidable rather than aspirational. If you want to stop bleeding money on subscriptions you don't use, audit your bank statements right now and cancel everything that doesn't provide immediate regular value. And if you're going to join a gym, do it with the full understanding that you're entering a mathematical game designed for you to lose. The gym membership trap isn't just about fitness. It's about recognizing that your optimism is being monetized, your good intentions are being harvested, and your aspirational self is being sold back to you at $10 a month. Once you see this pattern, you can't unsee it. You'll start noticing it everywhere, from app subscriptions to meal kit services to that premium streaming plan you forgot you upgraded to 6 months ago. The house always wins, but only if you keep playing their game by their rules. Now you know the rules. The question is what you're going to do about it. If this video helped you see your spending differently, smash that like button and subscribe for more content that exposes the invisible systems separating you from your money. I'll see you in the next one.